Warning. This video contains super awesome content not suitable for people who don't enjoy super awesomeness. Viewer discretion advised.
Welcome to Viewer's Choice. Your selection is about to begin. But first, take a look at what else you can see this week.
Hey, dudes, inviting you to travel through time. First stop, a long layover at the video store.
Bogus.
Wait, you've got Viewer's Choice.
Excellent.
Hello, you rotten little bloodsuckers.
America's most populars now get extra value. $12.50 cash back.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! What? Say what it is!
Let's get out of here! Like now!
When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad! I don't want your damn lemons! What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day and thought it could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with the lemons.
This is my ship, the Nebuchadnezzar. This is the core. Where we broadcast our pirate signal back into the matrix.
Welcome to the Nebuchadnezzar with your host, Anesto Morado, the double-headed coin, and your co-host, Pablo Morado, the Thunderbolt. Together, we are the Paramid Podcast.
Have a nice day.
The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
Welcome to the Nebuchadnezzar with your hosts, Anesto and Pablo Morado! What? That's right, folks. This is episode 113. Welcome to the most banned podcast on the internet. Tonight, we're going to be talking about new UFO stories. We're going to be talking about some conspiracies that Anesto is concocting. And we're going to be talking about world news conspiracies, the world news about Trump and what's going on with that. And, you know, it's going to be an explosive podcast. Usually when we're under a time crunch, we operate with a little bit more urgency, and the podcast ends up turning a little bit better for it. So, welcome everyone. Let's get into a wonderful podcast. Anesto, if you don't mind just starting us off with our favorite mic check.
How you doing, folks? Welcome to the Paramid podcast. As we always start off our show with some coin drop, because we know we cannot continue with the show without your coins.
That's right.
So you can donate to the show. Value for value, you can go to Paramid.store and get your supplements there. Betters your health, helps us on the cast. We have a lot to unpack. Money's king.
That's right. It does not fall out the sky.
It does not fall out the sky.
And you can also find us at theparamidpodcast.substack.com so that you can listen in and watch the videos as well. We have interesting videos and documentaries at theparamidpodcast.substack.com. So check us out there as well. A lot of goodies. Sign up for
Ellie has asked me over here, do I have anything for erectile dysfunction? As a matter of fact, I do.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not, we have Vital Man for the vitality of the masculine man. We're suffering from low T across the board, because
a lot of our food injects hormones. That's why hormone free is something that people actually look out for, the wealthy. But a lot of our cattle, a lot of our chicken, a lot of our meat products, our byproducts, our oats and grains all have hormones.
Feel good hormones and gives us manly men low T. So go to the Paramid.store, Ellie, and get yourself some Vital Man.
That's right.
If you're suffering from erectile dysfunction, it's all natural and it will help you in your plight.
And I also got here Thrive, which is shaga mushrooms. For those of you that are into, overall well-being, this is supporting performance, as well as it also helps white blood cells as well. So lots of things that this shaga mushroom itself supports. Check it out. Do your own research first.
We also got Fortified.
That's right. Vitamin D
and K2. Very good for your immunity. So we got a myriad of stuff on our site.
Our main staple, our fan favorite, is Brain Boost.
Brain Boost, yes,
sir. And the list of the pantheon of gummies that we have. We got to get more. We've been going through a wave in the business sector.
I also want to do a shout out to our boy James. Thank you for watching. I was wondering when you were going to come on board. You're technically a Bobo Longo.
Oh, is it Batman himself?
Yeah, Batman is watching.
Oh, fantastic.
You want to become a Verdugo, Mr. Batman, you can go right there to YouTube, Paramid Podcast, subscribe and like, and you can watch all the bells and whistles that are happening. Just explain
so that he doesn't take any offense. What is a Bobo Longo on this podcast?
Okay, so we have people that come in, peep and see what is happening, and then just abandon ship. We call those Wellepoo. Pus smellers. But there are times that the pus smeller will stick around, linger, for a couple of segments, and just stay quiet. Mm-hmm. Those are our Bobolongos. And then there are people like Ellie who, are part of the show. They engage, they ask questions. Like Ellie just asked me about if our Trump supporters, do we have anything for our Trump supporters for erectile dysfunction? And that makes them a Verdugo. So, right. And then if you continue on, you provide videos, you provide content, and if you actually buy from our Paramid store, then we net you right on the cast. We have different stages. We got the executioner. We have Torero. We have Freeman. And we have a myriad of titles that we give you. And then you're a part of the show. You're welcome to be part of it. If you ever want to be on live, just let me know. We'll send you a link. We'll bring you right up to the platform, and we can get into dialogue. Me and Ellie have been going back and forth vigorously, but it's all the least. But it's all in fun. It's all in fun. There's much love here. I want to wish everybody belated Merry Christmas, right, and a future Happy New Year. In a couple of days, 2024 will come to an end, and we'll embark on 2025, which is going to be a very interesting year, as we're going to have a new president once again, and his agenda. And we've been toying around with the idea, what if Donald Trump is the proverbial Antichrist?
I mean, I was thinking, like if we were to create like a circle, right, and just put a bunch of bad guys in, and who are their close proximity, who are their like contacts, and if you put Jeffrey Epstein in the center of that circle, you have Trump being connected to that. You have a lot of like Bill Gates. He's another person in that circle. You have Elon Musk that's in that circle. You have all these people that if you put a circle around, and you just like, there's people that he associates with that we agree with. There's people that we question. There's people.
You see, Elon Musk, a very interesting pawn in this chess game, because as much as I like Trump to be the Antichrist, right, he doesn't fit exactly the narrative of the Antichrist, because the Antichrist, from what I've heard since I was a kid, is supposed to be this young, vibrant, intelligent, articulate man who just infatuates the world with his message, which is a false message. Right. Who I think Elon Musk really fits the bill.
I mean, it's a possibility. That's where, because apparently, where the Venn diagram overlaps between Elon Musk and Jeffrey Epstein, they know each other too.
Yes.
So that's where, like, they're in the circle of communications. I would put Bill Clinton in that circle. I would put a lot of people in this circle that, kind of intertwine with each other. And, when you start looking at them as a whole, you started realizing, because, the saying, you are who you associate with.
Exactly.
And, there's a lot of associates that he has that, could be troublesome. And that's where, again, before we got on the podcast, we've mentioned that we're not on either side here. We're not on.
Yeah, Ellie has a very hard time accepting that I do not have any affiliations either with the Democrats, with the liberals, with the conservative and Republicans. I hover above all that shit. I just call it like it is. And I'll be quite honest, I might be on the wrong side of history. Because if I had to choose from the cackling hyena and the maniacal Donald Trump, I chose Donald Trump. What other choice did I have?
I think it was a non-choice. There was like both sides. Is like what they say, the lesser of two evils.
The lesser of two evils.
But he's still getting an evil nonetheless.
Yes.
So it's like.
Well, we as a people, we as a whole, we fall into this narrative.
But if you were to compare and contrast the hole that we will get ourselves into with Kamala Harris goes much deeper than the hole that we'll be into with Mr. Trump. I feel
in the very immediate future.
Yes, but they all like if we're driving on a road. And like between the two of them, like let's say you're driving on the road and this lane has a pothole, but this lane has a deep pothole. Either way you're hitting the pothole.
Right. And I look at it as two roads. Eventually they both meet. But I guess I chose the Donald Trump road, which will lead. I mean, in the end, they all lead to the same destination.
Yes,
in my opinion, because the powers that be, we all know that these are puppets in the end. Did you lose something?
Pardon me. I am listening to the conversation. However, getting a notification here, so carry on. But I'm gonna just deal with this quick concern. And, there's always got to be technical difficulties.
Yeah, unfortunately, where we fall prey to all these technical difficulties.
But you know what? We were just watching before we get on the cast about Patrick Bet-David, and even he, with all his wealth, still has issues with the podcast. So it's just part of a live show.
If a giant like Patrick Bet-David has issues, can you imagine these little worms that are trolling the internet trying to do a little Reiki Dink podcast? We're definitely going to run into some trouble.
For sure. But luckily, this was a minor problem, and we're all good to go. So
let me pose a question to Ellie if he is still watching. Hopefully he is. What say you? Do you believe Donald Trump is the Antichrist, or is he propping up the nest for things to come, like for a guy like Elon Musk? Now, Elon Musk has a problem as a candidate for the Antichrist, is that I believe Elon Musk was not born in the United States.
No, he was not born in the United States.
If he does get up to the platform of being president and they make some kind of avenue so that he can become president, then that really props him up to be the Antichrist. I don't see that happening, but
they're saying that supposedly Elon Musk is like a political puppet master for Donald Trump.
So he is what Obama is to Biden.
Right, that's what they're claiming.
They claim,
but Mr. Patrick,
because we all know that Biden was not calling the shots.
No, of course not. I mean, how many days did he have in vacation?
They said that Trump had a lot of vacation days, but Biden had a lot of nap time.
Yeah.
Him eating his little custards.
Yeah, I mean, or ice creams.
Yeah, his favorite thing.
But I believe it was a lot. If I'm not mistaken, hold on. I believe it was like almost the entire year, like 300 and somewhat days.
Yeah, in one of Ellie's posts, he made a comment where he said that wanting for Trump to fail, right, is just as bad. Let me see if I can get it right.
Okay.
He said, wanting for Trump to fail so that Trumpers can feel that they made the bad choice is just as bad as voting for Trump, period. I think something of that, I'm paraphrasing. And I read the post while I was on my break, and I went on a tangent saying how sad it is that, even though Trump is our president, even though you didn't vote for him, how sad it is that we want him to fail, because I didn't read the post right. But I took umbrage to one of Ellie's friends who commented and kind of called me an idiot for, I guess, supporting Trump. But he doesn't know me. He doesn't know my politics. He doesn't know my conspiracies. And you know what? If we go down that route, we've unpacked several things on this podcast where our own government has experimented on us.
Well, like you took umbrage and
yeah, very well said. Very well said. I fell in the trap of not following the 4 agreements.
Right.
I told Ellie, you should read the book, and he was like, I got my own mind. I don't have to read anybody else's. But if you go by that, then
that's impossible.
So much for. He goes,
what language?
He commented, I would greater respect an actual no vote in the scenario that you described. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, then a no vote is basically
a vote for the person that you don't want to come into.
I mean, yeah, but in this, like, the way, again, I feel like a no vote is you not participating in the whole process, so you have no right to complain, right? Like,
you get what you get since you didn't vote.
Since you didn't participate, then you have no reason to complain, because then you're not, taking any action to correct the shit. You're just like, oh, this is terrible. You're not really doing anything.
It's a big conundrum.
Yeah, I mean, it is a conundrum, but at the end of the day, I mean, again, the two lane theory, I think it was, you have 2 potholes, both lanes.
Oh, he commented again. How can you not be a Republican if you vote for a Republican?
Well, same like
There are many who are not Republican or Democrats that vote either way.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of people that they're not voting for the team. They're voting for the people in the cabinet. They're not voting for the color. They're voting for, a previous Democrat, Robert F. Kennedy. He's part of that team. This guy, Vance, was a previous Democrat. He's part of that team.
Okay, he commented again. Our voice and our opinion in more power is. Well, yeah, I imagine he meant is more powerful than the vote. Hence, influencers. Well, this is what we're here for. Right. And we're saying both of them are full of shit.
Right.
They lie to us, both of them. They lie to us every day. It just depends which poison you pick. Because in reality, one of them is going to come into power. Mm-hmm. And both of them are going to, either or are going to force their agendas upon us.
Right.
So I just picked the less in what I believe is the lesser of the poison. Because I can influence people as much as I want. Mm-hmm. But there's no way they're not going to pick one. They're going to pick one or the other.
Right. I mean, I just feel, like I said, if you want to complain about the system but not participate, you're not really helping your case.
And in my opinion, the lesser of the two evils kind of vibe with what I believe.
And again, if you have two potholes, right, you're going down the highway, you have 2-lane highway, both lanes have a pothole. One is a deeper pothole, and the one is a shallow pothole. And then maybe you have the third option, if you're like in the middle of the road, or you're like driving and you want to, turn into the shoulder, that comes at its own risk. You don't know what you're going to get into.
Well, he says that's an old way of thinking. So let me ask you this, Ellie, which is a kind of a silly question, but I imagine you voted for the cackling idiot.
Well, again, maybe he did a no vote. Maybe he not participated. Which
did you vote or not, Mr. Ellie? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, again, I understand the thinking. How are we going to participate in something that is just two evils? But again, one is there. It's an immediate danger. It's like you're driving on the road and you take the one with the deep pothole, your car is totaled. Right? It's an immediate danger.
You take the one with the lesser pothole,
at least
you could travel a little bit further down the road.
Chances are the car won't get destroyed. You could continue driving, the car is fine. So if it really depends on what the candidates are bringing to the table. And I think Trump is the only person that actually brought something to the table. And Kamala Harris just simply stated that she's not Trump. There was no other argument to vote for her. She just went on the fact that she's a Democrat. And at the end of the day, what we were going to say yes to was a shadow government that is going to push their agenda using our president. And is that what you want, to lose more of your voice? I mean, at least with Donald Trump, he's supposedly putting standards and practices in place that keep our voice intact. So if that's the case, then I'm all for it.
And to be quite honest, my aversion towards Kamala, I'm not gonna say she's a total idiot, because she got to where she got, I imagine using her brains, so she
would hope.
I would hope, and she has obviously got much further, than I would ever get.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, like, for example, I myself will be a horrible president. If they would give me that charge,
well, because you have no idea what it would be like to run a country.
I have no idea what it is to run a country, and I cannot make the hard decisions. If they tell me I gotta blast the country for the greater good, like for what we did in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I don't have the heart to do that. I cannot make that decision. You know, there are certain people that are natural born leaders. I could lead, you know, maybe a small corporation. I could lead a business, but when you start, you know, messing with people's lives and making those hard decisions, that's not me. I cannot be a president, and I just think that Kamala Harris is not built for the bigger demons that are around the world.
Right.
And in my opinion,
she was
as much as I don't like Donald Trump,
manipulated. She was going to be manipulated, whether she knew it or not. But she was going to be manipulated. And at the end of the day, we need somebody that's going to be there to defend our rights.
But another thing that I was going to say was another aversion that I had with Kamala Harris, and maybe this is not in her doing, maybe it's the powers that be, but it's the weaponized media who were not, you know, in the middle. They were skewed against one side, and you only get the narrative, the good narrative for Kamala, but you never got the opposite, which is the bad narrative,
right?
You know, and on the other side, you never got the good narrative of Donald Trump.
Right.
You only got the bad. So that in itself kind of like edged me over, you know. And I, as far as what the message that he was projecting, you know, it could be all bullshit. But as far as his message was shut down the borders, was a big one for me. While Kamala Harris was like, let them all in, Donald Trump from the very beginning, since he started his journey into the White House, has always said we need to strengthen our borders.
Of course.
And look what it's gotten us. You know, innocent people have been killed and burned, and
there's the whole pushback of this whole thing.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. It doesn't make me a Republican. I do have some conservative values. I must say that.
Well, because you know what? The conservative values are common sense. You know, a lot of it is common sense.
So is it a conservative value to say men cannot take a pregnancy to term? Can men have babies?
I mean, that's a conservative value. Yes.
So I'm conservative when I say.
Well, no, that when you say men can have babies, no, that's a liberal value. That's a liberal value.
I'm
saying, you're saying that they cannot have babies,
right?
That's a.
I'm saying men are biologically men, women are biologically women. Now, this whole gender stuff that's going on,
right?
Fine. If you want to dress up as a woman, I'm all for it. But in the end, you're a man.
Right.
And if you're a woman that wants to dress up as a man, so be it. I don't care.
We have actors, you know, in movies, they dress up like a tree or a tin man or a lion.
I have no aversion.
No aversion.
But when you're trying to tell me that this guy is biologically a woman when he has Bojangles.
Right. Or you're trying to convince me that that's scientifically possible.
No.
That's when you're like, okay, now you lost me.
Yeah.
Even if it was a movie.
So if
it's a movie trying to explain to me that it's scientifically possible to change your gender, and they try to, explain it with BS, even though it's a fictional movie, I lost interest because now I'm not hooked. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
And to me,
that's why they go through painstaking measures for the Marvel movies to make it seem like plausible because that's what movies are based, like fantasy movies are, plausible that this could happen. It's plausible that there could be a Captain America based on the scientific and the gamma rays and all these things that they make it seem like, oh, okay, it's a possibility, right? But the way they explain how a woman could be a man or a man could be a woman, it's not even somebody that is watching a movie that knows it's fake and fantasy. They can't even understand. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you got to go with common sense. If you're going to say that, you're a they, them, then let's just call it what it is. You're schizophrenic. Because you have multiple people inside of you. So it makes sense. Okay, you're a schizophrenic. That makes sense. You can't address me by one name because I have several people that I
that's another thing. You have the gender thing and you have this pronoun thing. It's just getting complicated.
So
if you're a guy that enjoys dressing up as a woman,
mm-hmm.
right? And as a woman, you want to be with men,
mm-hmm.
then that's your thing. It's not normal when you look at, the way our species was built.
Right.
But if that's your thing, I have no aversions for it.
Right.
But if you're trying to push that down my throat,
you're kind of trying to convince me that the science that I've already learned that is proven, that makes sense, doesn't, and you twist it to make your narrative make sense. Because what their whole thing is that because your gender is based on how you feel in your perspective.
And you know what? My daughter made a very provocative comment.
Mm-hmm.
Because my daughter is in that camp. My daughter is gay,
mm-hmm.
right? But she says that this whole, women, men who are women wanting to use women bathrooms,
mm-hmm.
that's a male agenda.
Right.
It's all male centric.
There's no woman, gay or not gay, lesbian or not lesbian, that wants to be in the same bathroom as a man.
Right. So she's saying that this is like a male.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's a male-centric thing. Like men who become women now want to be in women's sports.
Right.
You don't see women who become men want to get into male sports.
Right.
So this is another way of male toxicity trying to invade.
It's that whole cycle that I've heard over and over again. Hard times create hard men, then hard men create good times create weak men create hard times, and it just cycles around. So right now we're in an era of weak men, and that's just
emasculated men,
right?
So
that's why we're in hard times. But the strong men are coming right behind that. Hard times create strong men, and then strong men create good times. And as long as we can kind of stay in that good times area for as long as we can, because then the cycle continues. And it's like what you always told me, it's a circle of life. It just continues going on.
Absolutely. But we digress.
Yes.
We digress because of Ellie's comments, and I really appreciate Ellie commenting. Ellie is now our Verdugo. Yes. So, continuing on, this is just a teaser. We're going to be unpacking the Pope opening the 5 doors, which is supposed to be a time of jubilee, but is it? Is he really opening 5 portals or 5 symbolic portals? Are we in end of times? Is going to be when we're going to unpack this. We're going to correlate in our strange conspiracies. We're also going to continue to dive into this strange drone phenomena and the alien aspect of it all. And what else do you have for us?
So I have an amazing story brought to us by a UFO researcher, James Fox, of a UFO encounter. Not a UFO, an alien encounter by a credible source. And an UFO clear picture of a flying saucer. The clearest picture that you're ever going to catch of a flying saucer. So
we're also going to unpack this whole thing that happened, this atrocity that happened on the train in New York, further accentuating the fact that this illegal immigrants that have invaded the United States is becoming a problem. So we're at
we're at 42 minutes.
42 minutes. So
let's just start off. Where were you thinking of going?
Well, at this juncture, we always go into the AM PM show.
All right, so it's time for our
Welcome to the AM/PM game show where Pablo and Anesto Morado attempt to determine what is going on in a video found online. Using only their ears and their third eye, the host will make a guess on what is going on. If the host gets guesses correctly, they receive $20,000 of a fiat currency that no longer exists. So what do you say, folks? Shall we play a game?
Radio is theater of the mind. Radio is theater of the mind. But radio is theater of the mind. It's imagination. It's imagination. Radio is theater of the mind.
Absolutely. Radio is theater of the mind. And here at the Paramid podcast, we are a strange fusion of terrestrial radio and podcasting. We're a hybrid, and we're going to continue doing it this way. I think that we are possibly the only ones that have created this platform where we're like a hybrid of radio and podcasting, because we are talk radio junkies, and even on my spare time I tend to turn on my radio. Nowadays I use my iHeart app or whatever app that allows me to listen to AM radio, and it's a big part of my pastime. So
well, we're not the only ones. We're standing on shoulders of giants, because you got to think, you got Mr. AJ, who really broke the mold. He's the one that's really got the radio and podcasting.
Well, yes, but I look at AJ more of like a news network.
Right.
While I try to adhere to the old-time way of doing radio, hence the theater of the mind.
Right.
But nevertheless, we are radio talk radio junkies. We love it. I hope it never goes away. I even tend to listen to ball games. Nowadays I don't listen to much sports, but I rather listen to it more on the. I enjoy the games more on the radio than actually watching it, on the TV screen. So with that said, what do you have for me today? And for people that are just tuning in, the AM PM game show consists of Pablo will play a clip, and I have to discern what that clip is using my theater of the mind, and then we show the actual clip and we find out how close I can get
to the actual video, just by
actual video,
listening in. And if you guess,
and then we do vice versa. Then I play, and then we at the end of the segment we do a little exercise. Are you going to hell? Where we actually show a clip that we're not supposed to laugh at.
Right.
And if you laugh, you're going to hell.
All right. So you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. What's going on here? So what's going on in this clip?
Play it again. This is here you go, one of your famous clips.
Well, I thought this was going to be an easy one, but okay. What is going on in this clip?
Wow.
So the folks that are just listening, if you can make a guess and you get it accurate, you get a free gift from one of us. So what is going on in this clip?
So he created some concoction where if you go into you go into another room, you flip a switch, it doesn't turn on her light bulb, but it turns on his light bulb. And vice versa, but there's no electricity in between. How is that possible?
What are you envisioning this thing to look like?
I don't know. Maybe he's got like something like, I really don't know.
You want me to play it again?
One more time.
All right.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I didn't think this would stump you this hard. But okay, just take a stab at it.
All right, he has maybe like a light bulb with a probe into a potato or something, and that is what's creating the energy.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right. So here we go. I'm going to put this up on the screen for everyone.
I have no idea what the hell I'm going to see.
All right, here we go. All right. Here we go. So explain what you're seeing here.
Okay, so this guy has constructed like two light bulb sockets with like a wire between them, not connected to anything electrical.
Right.
And he is saying that if you pull one of these guys, it's going to turn on one light, and this is bizarre. Now, how is that happening?
It doesn't.
How in the hell was I supposed to discern that?
Well, he explained what it was supposed to do.
Now, what is between these two wires that is allowing that to happen?
Just a cable, it looks like. Just like a regular cable.
Well, in an interest of keeping the show moving, give me a. All right, you ready?
I got you with that one. I thought it was easy.
No, not at all. How was I supposed to know? All right, so you ready for me?
I would have been able to pick it up. Yeah, you'll go.
Okay, so here we go. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. That's a what? It ain't got no flavor. That's a. Oh my God, that's a. Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. I got it. All right. So he put his friend convinced him to put a dildo in his mouth,
thinking it was what?
A gummy worm.
So if you go to the Trello,
okay,
it's what flavor?
What flavor is this? Oh man. Okay, here we go. Ask Pablo.
And I want to thank Maria de la Cruz for watching the Paramid podcast. If you go to see the link right here on YouTube, Paramid podcast, you can see the full show with my host, Pablo Morado, and all the little videos that we're playing. or you can go to my profile, and I believe you can see the full cast. So here we go.
For those that have kiddos, viewer discretion is
advised. Yes. So give yourself a thing.
All right.
So now it's my turn once again.
All right. So what in the world is going on in this clip? Hold on. Let me bring it over here. What is going on in this clip? I guess this might be harder. For our Brazilian fellows that love this cast, threw you a little Brazilian clip here.
I have no idea.
Listen carefully. It's now that you know it's Portuguese you're listening to. I mean, there's some clues. It's not exactly Spanish, but there's some clues in here.
All right, so play it again. Okay, I'm gonna take a stab at it.
Okay.
He's messing with a lighter.
Okay.
And he's turning on the fire. And maybe he's like turning on the fire like on his ass and burning his ass, and then he goes,
oh, okay. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right. So for those that are participating, please put in your guesses. And if you get if you get it correctly, you get a free gift from one of us.
And you could see on your side if they're making any comments, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So let's check the Instagram. We got a lot of people joining in. All right, so it looks like that's good news here for us. All right, so here we go.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. For people that are listening to our audio feed, what I'm looking at is this guy is turning on a lighter while this guy is sleeping. He is actually cooking the heel of his foot with a lighter, but he has so much callus on his heel that he's not even feeling the heat.
No, nothing. He's knocked out.
He's knocked out and doesn't wake up. So I was close.
Yeah, you were.
So give me a thing. There you go. All right, so you're ready for mine?
Yes.
All right, let's see. I don't even remember this one, but let's see what I get. Oh, yeah. Ready?
All right. He ate the gravy. So it's a dog. Hair, you mean feathers.
Alright, so what do you think is going on in this video?
It ain't the gravy. There's still hair on it. So,
you want to hear it one more time?
I'm going to take a stab at it, alright? It sounds like to me that maybe a dog threw up into a bird's bowl and the bird ate it.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Alright, so go to the Trello and go and you hit the gravy.
So dog threw up into a bird bowl and the bird ate it.
I thought this was going to be an easy one for you.
Let's see. Oh my god. So for those that are just following along listening, essentially it's a turkey, it looks like. She's pulling out the guts from the turkey and she's yakking on the innards.
Play it through.
She's gacking on the heart, on the innards of the turkey. What was that, the neck?
Yeah. Explain to them what's going on.
So she's attempting to cook it. If she's looking at food this way, don't cook my food.
Exactly.
I already can tell that you do not know how to cook. Don't touch my food.
So explain to what's
So
going
she's attempting to cook a turkey, and when you buy a turkey, they have the innards stuffed in the inner cavity of the turkey. So she's taking out, the kidneys and the liver and all that stuff, and the heart, and the neck is also inside, and she's gacking on all aspects of this
raw turkey.
And
she is so disgusted that she even finds that the turkey...
I didn't even conceive that it could be this. It sounded like much more grosser than it ended up being. So I was totally incorrect on this one. Alright, so I got one more bonus. You got the stomach for a bonus?
Sure.
Alright, so what is going on in this clip here? This is gonna be a hard clip, unfortunately.
Wow.
What kind of? I'll give you points if you can just guess what kind of vehicle this might be.
To me, it sounds like a pig making these noises.
No, it's a vehicle.
It's a vehicle?
All right, I'll
play it one more time. Wow. I would say it's like a little miniature motorcycle. That's what I'm going to go with.
A miniature motorcycle?
Yeah.
All right. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Folks, get your guesses in. Get your guesses in. Here we go. I'm going to put this up on screen. All right.
These clips are hard today.
There you go.
Hey, Diablo! Well, I'm sorry for the people that are listening on our audio,
but you gotta.
This is a sight to behold.
You got it. You got it pretty close. I mean,
this is a sight to behold. This is a man on a motorcycle that has sort of like a trailer attached to it, and he has a load of biblical proportions on this thing, which are empty. They look like empty water canisters.
Yeah, I don't know what they could be. I guess they are.
But this thing is huge, and it dwarfs the man that's driving this motorcycle.
That must be heavy. Even though they're empty, that must be extremely heavy. I would
Absolutely. Think. Wow. The human mind is amazing.
So you got a.
All right, so one more for you.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give you this one.
I'm gathering a guy on a ladder who falls into a pond with ducks in there.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
That's
that's what my mind is visualizing here.
All right, so if you go to the cello, it's merry-go-round.
Oh man, so I definitely got that wrong. Let's see, merry-go-round. Here we go. Oh, whoa. I got that very wrong. What the hell? So it's a woman. She's going by, which is extremely dangerous, going by a moving machine. I used to work in a factory. You know, it was a cannabis factory, but nonetheless it was a factory.
Right.
And there was moving parts in the machine. You couldn't have any loose clothing because you can get wrapped up into that machine.
That's right.
And, you know, there was a lot of things that you had to keep your fingers away from. You know, you could lose a finger or digit. This is very dangerous. So she's walking by this machine that's spinning with some kind of gear. It gets caught in her sweater, and she gets pulled back, and then it gets her arm. Oh my God! Oh, she broke her arm then.
Well, it slammed her and it twirled her around.
It twirled her like Bam Bam. She was bam, bam, bam. But damn, that's horrible.
So give yourself up.
Yeah.
All right, so I have one. Are you going to hell?
And I got a Are You Going to Hell as well. So we can't laugh.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
Okay, so here we go. Are we going to hell? Let's see. See if is it right? Where is it here? You gotta clean up this.
Right there.
Perfect. Which one?
Legless.
Legless. Okay, here we go.
Can't laugh.
That's messed up.
One more view.
We held out.
All right, we held out. That's pretty good.
All right, so are you ready for mine? Now with this one's gonna be a hard one.
Okay.
So do
get it out now.
Do not laugh.
All right.
All right. This is gonna this is gonna tickle you a little.
Okay. I'm ready.
Because you're a man that loves pranks. So here we go. You ready?
Right, I'm ready.
Now there's a Netflix special based on this prank. So
okay.
All right, here we go. Oh no.
Okay, you got me there.
Oh man, so we both are going to hell. But this is can you believe it? They made 8-part series to this?
Wow. I got one more for you.
This guy, he
This is actually true?
Yeah, it's a true story.
Wow.
He poisoned the lemonade of a school.
And everybody was shitting their brains.
They were shitting everywhere. Everybody. A whole They were piling up into the bathroom. They were shitting in the urinals, in the sinks,
God.
everywhere. In their lockers. They were shitting in their lockers.
Wow. All right.
Everybody got hit.
So that we can continue, I got one
but
more.
Hold on, really quickly. So this guy, not only does he do this prank, but he does a series of pranks. He does this one, and then he ends up because one of the teachers there has a fascination with some author, some famous author. So she does like a party on his birthday. It's like his birthday party, and she does it every year. So this year she bought a piñata, and somehow this prankster got into the piñata and filled it with shit.
Oh my
and
God!
This the unwitting students ended up hitting the piñata, and of course, as you can imagine, there was shit everywhere.
Oh my God!
And then a final prank. You know how they do the T-shirt? The T-shirt launch in games, in football games and things like that. Well, they had these T-shirt launchers in this school, this Catholic school. So he decided to swap out the T-shirts roll the T-shirts covered in shit. And everybody was like,
wow, the turd burglar.
The turd burglar.
The turd burglar.
Yeah, 8-part series. Can you believe that? I mean, they stressed the hell out of this story.
And that's on Netflix.
Yeah, on Netflix.
All right, so go to Are You Going to Hell?
All right.
And peanut butter.
Oh, man. Now, we cannot laugh.
We cannot laugh. That's the whole thing.
Okay, here we go.
It's something
and
you
then
should...
this ends the segment.
Yeah, this is something you shouldn't laugh about. Ay, Jesús. We shouldn't laugh at this.
No.
We did good. We did good.
And with that concludes our AM PM game show.
Yes, you will. You will get us next time. And that concludes our show. Let's go to the next segment.
Welcome to the AM PM game show where Pablo and Anesto Morado attempt to determine what is going on in a video found online. Using only their ears and their third eye, the host will make a guess on what is going on. If the host gets guesses correctly, they receive $20,000 of a fiat currency that no longer exists. So what do you say, folks? Shall we play a game?
All right, so now it's time for our... So this is our current events segment.
Before we go into our current events, I want to thank all our viewers. I see, of course, Ellie was on. I don't know if he's still on. Maria de la Cruz was on. James, the Batman, was on, and my niece Judy was on. She liked the show. So thank you for coming aboard. Continue to support us. You can go to the Paramid.store and buy some supplements and support the cast. We love what we do, and it's a break from the regular ho-hum stuff that you get streaming or on TV or on the radio. Then we're giving you another option to join us, and you can be part of the show. It's not hard to do. Just go on our platform at Paramid Podcast on YouTube, Paramid.experience on Instagram, Anesto Morado on Facebook, and what other platforms are we on? We on X?
We're on X at the Paramid. At Paramid Podcast on X.
Okay.
We are on Substack, which is theparamidpodcast.substack.com. So find us anywhere. We're out there, and we're consistently expanding. We should be.
This is show 113. So
that's right.
We have a big library. If you doing some chores, driving somewhere, or at the job, want to listen to something different, we're the show for you, the Paramid Podcast.
All right. So with that being said, I got a story here for us.
Put it on the platform so we can see it.
Yep. So what do you think about this?
That's an interesting turn of events. I believe if China is controlling the canal, we built the canal. At least we finished it, because I believe part of the canal was started by France. And when France couldn't complete the job, we took it over and we finished it. We controlled it for many years until we finally gave it to Panama. But if Panama is not doing the right thing with it, I'm all for it. The hell with it. Let's take it.
Well, I was listening to Patrick David, and he did a really good breakdown of why Trump is wanting to do this, and he's all for it. He's saying that the reason this is going on is because not only did we build it, right, we built the Panama Canal, but we also maintain it. We also have
currently maintain
it. That they've never maintained it. We also have troops out there to patrol the canal. We have a lot. So U.S. is basically doing all the legwork. We built it. We're maintaining it. We're securing it. They're doing nothing. Right? So Trump is like, oh, this gotta be.
So we built it. I was under the impression that when we turned over the Panama Canal over to them, and what year did we turn it over to them?
They said President Carter, so okay.
No, that wasn't President Carter that turned it over.
What did they say it was?
It was, I think this happened in the late 1990s, early 2000s.
Let me see. Well, when did U.S. say... Okay, let's see. So the United States officially turned
Put
it
it
over.
on screen so we can see it, please.
All right, hold on. Bear with me, folks. So it says here, the United States officially turned over the control of the Panama Canal on December 31st, 1999.
1999, that's what I remember.
But
yes.
they were saying...
This transfer was the result of the Toledo Center Treaty signed on September 7th, 1977 by U.S. President Jimmy Carter
that's right.
and Panamanian leader Omar Torrijos. The treaties outlined a gradual process of handing over the control of the canal and its surrounding zone to Panama, which included a phased transfer of operations. The U.S. progressively handed over administrative and operational responsibility to Panama over 2 decades. Number two is complete control by 1999. On December 31st, 1999, the Panama Canal Authority, a Panamanian government agency, took full responsibility for the canal's operations and management. This transfer symbolized significant milestone in U.S.-Panama relations and ensured that Panama would benefit directly from the economic and strategic value of the canal.
Now, so it says here...
So I was, I was in business at the time, and I saw this on screen on how the Americans were training the Panamanian people how to operate the canal, and I believe the Americans signed on that they were going to train them for the first 5 years, so that they can get a gist of it, and then we were going to just walk away. But from what you're telling me, in the year 2024, we are still maintaining the canal.
Yes, this is what was mentioned on Patrick Bet-David's podcast. So, I mean, he's saying that we maintained it. We were the last people to maintain it. So I think I misspoke here, but let me play the clip so you can hear it from his mouth. Okay, so let me forward it a little bit here. He gets to, right here.
Pause it. Do you understand what the Panama Canal is?
Yes. It's the canal that links the Asian Pacific side to the East Coast and
the Atlantic.
The Atlantic, yeah.
So before the Panama Canal,
they have to go all the way around.
Right.
Right.
So they've been tinkering around with this notion of building a canal straight across Panama onto the Atlantic side to save time.
Right.
But it wasn't an easy task to do.
Right.
You know, I believe the first, let me see how good I am in history. The first attempt was in the early 1800s or mid 1800s. And I believe France was the attempted first, but so many people died in trying to cut across the jungle due to malaria and mosquito-borne diseases that after chipping at it for years, I think they took like, I'm going to guess around 40 years chipping at this attempt to connect the Pacific and the Atlantic. And then they were defeated and abandoned the project. And then the Americans took it over. And they still had the same problem. They didn't know how to combat these illnesses that everybody was getting until they found out that the mosquito was the disease was mosquito borne, and they went aggressively on spraying against the mosquitoes. That was the first thing they attacked. It was to get rid of the mosquito infestation. And once they accomplished that, they chipped at it, and finally, I believe in the early 1900s, they were able to cut across and build a canal.
Synopsis here.
Okay, so it was the late 1800s.
So right there,
9 years the French were chipping at it.
Or 8. 1881 to 1889, so 8 years.
So I thought it was about 40 years, so it was way less than that, so it was 8 years.
And
they
then
abandoned ship.
The U.S. took over the project in 1904. So here's
when was the project completed?
The project was completed in 1914, 10 years later.
Wow.
So
impressive.
This is Patrick David's explanation here. Let's see here. So it cuts off it makes it a lot faster to travel between the Asian continent and the Atlantic Ocean, because instead of because they'll their ships will go this way instead of going around this way. They just cut right through.
Right.
So Alright, so that was, what was going on, how they built it, and then he goes into So he's saying that essentially that without this Panama Canal, we don't get our goods and services, right? So what's happening here?
I mean, we would, but it's just going to take a
much longer time, right? And he's saying that what's happening here is that Trump, in order for him to enforce tariffs on China, right? China is simply going to say, okay, so then we'll shut down the Panama Canal. Why? Because China has a lot of pull on the Panama Canal, and I have clips on that. So I didn't realize how Chinese troops are deployed down there. So here's a clip here. Check this out. They're not going into it because I fell for the caption here, but it says Chinese troops deployed in Panama. This was first post, so I have another clip here that's going to go into it.
Well, before you go into that, I want to ask this. You're saying that while Panama is in control of the canal, the Americans are maintaining it?
Well, yeah, so that's what Patrick David asserted, and with research, it does show that the last time it was ever maintenance was by us. So it's actually had fallen into disrepair, but we still patrol it and we still maintain the security.
So I'm all for it. It's a no-brainer. I'm all for it, and let the United States take it over again. We built it. And if they're not maintaining it, which is a crucial part of our import and export business,
right?
And if we're not maintaining it, and the Panamanians have given control over to the Chinese, which is our enemy, I say, you know what? We built it, we gave it to you, but you're not doing the right thing with it. We'll take it back. What are they going to do?
Right.
What is Panama going to do? They're going to go against us? Come on.
Right. Well, that's what.
And I'm all for it. If it means that the American people are going to get cheaper goods, We're not going to pay as much if we take over it. And
we'll be able to enforce tariffs because check this out.
And if we enforce tariffs and it brings and it generates money for the American people, I'm all for it. The hell with it.
So there's a lot of CCP control and influence in the Panama Canal. Trump claims that there's soldiers deployed there. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, if he were to impose tariffs on China, and China says go ahead, then we'll close down the Panama Canal. What are you going to do about it? Now we can't get any goods from that area, and that's what's really going to...
I say take it. I say take it.
Now, I don't know what your stance is about Canada and Greenland. I don't know how Greenland comes into this, but supposedly is of national security. I mean, I don't know how, but I guess it must...
As far as Canada goes, I've heard that 50% of the Canadian people are all for being the 51st state of the United States. It's a very provocative idea because Canada is a huge territory.
Mm-hmm.
It has a wealth of resources that we can use.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I've heard, economically and their government is in sort of disarray.
Mm-hmm.
If we can attain Canada on the peaceful terms and become the 51st state, I'm all for it. As a matter of fact, the Warlock and I, we proposed the idea almost a year before Donald Trump even made that statement, and we were willing to send them a letter because let's be honest, Canada is almost the United States.
Yeah,
if you look at it, it's almost the United States.
I mean, basically,
you know. So if we can attain Canada on the peaceful terms and use the resources that Canada has to offer to reduce our national debt, which will bolster our dollars and give our dollar more power, I'm all for it.
Well, another thing that I was questioning is about Greenland, and it says here, Donald Trump's interest in Greenland as a matter of U.S. national security stems from the island's strategic location and resources.
Right, and Greenland is another area, another landmass that's rich with resources, and I believe is owned by Denmark, if I'm correct. If they're willing to part for it for a price, I say go for it. we could use the resources in Greenland if Denmark doesn't have the resources to extract whatever Greenland has to offer. We definitely will take advantage of the resources. And you know, it's funny because now Greenland is actually green because of the climate change. And hell, I even propose, it's a radical idea, but all the illegal immigrants that are here, I would say put them to work in Greenland, give them a contract, and if you work in Greenland for a certain amount of time, you get your permanent residency, and it'll be a win-win situation.
Here's my also view on this whole thing. Timing. The timing of this is not good, especially since part of the whole narrative that the left portrayed Trump as this imperialist type of person that's going to be expanding our territories, kind of like a Hitler figure that explained what Hitler did, expanded Germany.
The man with the mustache. They're on YouTube.
The man with the mustache. What he did, expanding Germany. They were, warning that he was going to do this, and for him to say something like, although he's in the right in terms of his logic of why we need the Panama Canal, and the logic of why we should make Canada a 51st state, I could hear that, but I think you're going to push a lot of people into
but if he gets this under peaceful terms, without invasion or war, I'm all for it.
Yeah. And then the reason for Greenland, it says here, it's Arctic geopolitics. Greenland's position in the Arctic is highly strategic, as the region is becoming increasingly significant for global security and trade routes due to melting ice caps. The Arctic is a point of competition among global powers, including the U.S. Wait a minute. It just hit me. Melting ice caps. Could that be the reason for the high activity of drones in the area? UFOs being reported because the melting ice caps are opening up more portals to maybe some places that were hidden from us due to these ice caps.
I've heard of things, structures appearing due to the melting glaciers in Antarctica. I haven't heard much about up north.
Greenland is home to Thule Air Base, a critical U.S. military installation located north of the Arctic Circle. This base plays a key role in the missile warning systems, space surveillance, and Arctic defense. So I can see why he's saying it's critical to U.S. Homeland Security. So there's a lot of things that he's planning on doing. Let's see what he does with that. Now, with China being on it seems like a lot of it is also that China is involved here, and it also says here China's growing influence. Trump administration was concerned about China's increasing interest in Greenland, including attempts to invest in mining and infrastructure projects. These moves were perceived as efforts to gain a foothold in the Arctic. By potentially acquiring Greenland, Trump believed the U.S. could block Chinese influence and secure dominance in the region.
And I've always said, since the beginning of our cast, early in our cast, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, that I got a sense that the next world war would be an Arctic world war, and it's going to be fought in the cold. So if Donald Trump has his eyes on Greenland and has his eyes on Canada, it could be that he's trying to beat China to the punch. Because it could be that this is something China is flaunting. Maybe China wants to buy Greenland.
I think that's what
maybe China is trying to negotiate with Canada. Maybe China is negotiating with Mexico. So to beat them to the punch, he's flaunting these ideas to beat China on its own game. Because if China attains, let's say, a foothold in Canada and a foothold in Greenland, it's a major blow to the U.S. strategically. So Trump is not a stupid guy.
If you look at where Greenland is, you have Greenland right here, right? Then you have, here's America, here's Greenland, right? Here's Alaska, and then right here is Russia. You know, so...
And where will Ukraine be?
Ukraine is right here. So if you would...
Strategically, right at Greenland. I mean, you could park some nuclear warheads there.
Yeah, so it's like the halfway point between the United States and, you know, Ukraine. You have Iran, the Middle East on this side here. So, yeah, I mean, I can see why he would want to do that. I mean, you are correct. It is owned by Denmark at the moment. It's an autonomous republic.
And this, I'm telling you, you know, this is all posturing for a next world war. And, you know, you're talking about the Panama Canal. Well, right now, the Suez Canal, if you go to Egypt.
Oh, yeah, the Suez Canal is having some issues with the Houthis. And
the Suez Canal is closed.
It's closed?
Yeah.
This is the Suez Canal right here, right?
Yeah, it's closed. And Google what's going on in the Suez Canal.
Okay.
And we got to keep going because we got much more topics.
Yeah, we do. And we're getting closer to the end time here, so, all right. The Suez Canal, a vital artery for the global trade, has recently faced significant challenges impacting its operations, impacting the Red Sea attacks. In 2024, the canal's revenue declined by approximately $7 billion, the loss exceeding 60% compared to 2023. The downturn is largely attributed to the attacks on vessels in the Red Sea. The Houthi militants from Yemen. These incidents have compelled shipping companies to reroute their vessels around Africa's Cape of Good Hope, leading to increased costs and delays in global trade.
Is it open, though? What is this app? What is this site that you this is
Google Earth.
I like this view of the world.
So it says here yes, the Suez Canal remains open and operational. However, well, let me see, maybe this is too new for ChatGPT. Resident Evil. So yeah, it's still saying it's open for shipping, although the volume of traffic, though it has significantly decreased due to ongoing concerns in the Red Sea region, with some ships choosing to reroute around the Cape of Good Hope. Instead, however, it remains a vital maritime passageway between Asia and Europe.
Okay, so it's vastly diminished.
Yeah, so where's China here? So China's over here, right? So China would have to go this way, or they bring their goods as far as they can take it, maybe here, and they go this way into Europe. That's how they get into that area.
Because through the Suez Canal, they can go right through. Go down.
And just type in Suez Canal. And there's the Suez Canal right there. And they go right all the way through. So like here's
so through the Suez Canal, they can go through the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah, so the Mediterranean, yep, exactly, through the Suez Canal. Right here.
It's a major artery.
Yeah, so it goes right down through here.
Wow, no, this is a vital.
It goes and connects you right there to the Mediterranean Sea right there. And you have Greece, Malta, Italy, all of Europe, basically, Spain, Portugal. And then you have Gibraltar right there.
The Straits of Gibraltar right through there.
And then you go right there to UK, London, Ireland, that area.
Interesting. No, I mean, we're going to encounter some very interesting times during Trump's presidency. I could see people around the world, not agreeing with what Trump is doing, but if it benefits the U.S., I'm all for it. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, same. So with that being said, we still got a few more stories to go over. So ultimately, the reason Trump is making these messages is because Panama. He's saying China's getting growing influence in Panama. China's getting growing influence in Greenland. And now, I mean, we pretty much know that they have a pretty heavy influence in Canada through Trudeau and all their relationships because of his inspirations and things like that.
Trudeau is done.
Right? So, but then here's another news piece here. So the title of this clip is, this is Fox Business, and it's "We're Going to Get Hit. China expert warns of attack on U.S. soil." So, I mean, that's a
ballsy statement, because if we get hit on American soil by the Chinese, it's a done deal.
Yeah, so
it's a done deal.
That's what they're afraid of. And then over here, I have an article. So Chinese hackers steal metadata in major cybersecurity breach. A Chinese hacking group known as Salt Typhoon has stolen a significant amount of Americans' metadata, ongoing cyber espionage campaign. A senior U.S. official revealed on Wednesday the hackers targeted telecommunications infrastructure. So they're already working on this. I mean, I believe we covered this a little bit in a different podcast, but there's a lot of things that they're working on. And Chinese researchers are trying to turn science fiction into reality is another key report that I have here. I'm trying to get through this pretty quickly so we can move on to the really good, juicy stuff here. But China's a real concern these recent years. Just pull this up. So it says here, Chinese researchers are trying to turn science and fiction into reality. They're trying to develop a force gun, could be a new type of weapon on the horizon. A 2023 study by scientists in China introduced the world to the concept of plasma ring technology. So they're working on plasma ring technology. They're working on all these interesting...
and what's plasma ring technology? What would that do?
So it says it was a type of tech that promised to turn science fiction into reality. So let's see here. In August 2023, Chinese scientists published a research paper revealing that details of a device that could move objects using plasma rings. Here's what we learned about the device. It would one day be used for in the real world. It says here, the Jedi Force Push. The device effect was linked to the Jedi Force Push ability by the South China Morning Post Stephen Chen. Chen wrote about the weird new gadget, which he noted could prove to be revolutionary for several industries, for its researchers could make the technology work. It says here, manipulating objects. Chen explained that the device used magnetic force to manipulate objects according to his review of the research paper published by Chinese team in the journal Systems Engineering and Electronics on August 16th. It says, formerly impractical until recently, Chen reported using magnetic force to control something remotely was considered impractical. The strength of the force decreases rapidly as the distance between the magnetic source and the object is acting upon it increases. It says here, collision force.
It's kind of like what we suspect Tesla might have been working on.
Yep.
And it also what we suspect what the old man in the Coral Castles,
quote unquote, drones be functioning on.
Well, I heard that, moving right along, I heard that, this guy, this former police officer saw a drone drop a glowing object, which is very provocative. I put it on the Trello. Let me see. I'll tell you right now what he saw. Let's see. It says retired NYPD detective says he saw a drone drop a strange object near Staten Island home, reported yesterday. A Roseville man says he saw a drone drop something mysterious near his home in the early morning hours of December 14th, according to the report in the New York Post. John Scotto, 59, told the tabloid a large drone dropped an unknown glowing object in the woods near his home. Based on the size of it, I'm sure it was a military drone, Scotto told the Post. It was not a toy. He said the incident happened around 6:15 a.m. when he went out on his front porch for his morning cigarette, according to the Post. Scotto told the Post that he called 911 and police canvassed the area with a series of flyovers, but were unable to identify what had been dropped by the drone. Drone mania has swept Staten Island in recent weeks after first being reported over New Jersey in mid-November. Federal Aviation Administration officials issued a ban on drone flights Friday on drone flights Friday over a number of communities in New York, including Staten Island and the other four boroughs. The restrictions for special security reasons will last until January 18, 2025. So, I mean, the report continues. The agency in statement said the United States government may use deadly force against airborne aircraft if it's determined that the aircraft poses an imminent security threat. The FAA said that the drone pilots who do not adhere to the flight ban may be intercepted, detained, and interviewed by law enforcement and security panel. So personnel. So yeah, it's this drone thing is very concerning, but at the same time, you know, we have other provocative things such as the Pope, you know, opening these 5 doors as a New Year's Eve ceremony, which is also very provocative. Him convincing Joe Biden to pardon people on death row, and people are now, social media is blazing with the fact that they're saying that they opened the door to release the devil, which is far-fetched. And you have a very interesting alien story, which I want to get to before we finish the cast.
Yes. So, so before we get into the Pope scenario, essentially, really quickly, a few things just to touch up on some technology news. Google is recently releasing a quantum chip. It's called the Willow chip, and supposedly it's tapping into parallel universes. Here's just a quick report here. I'll play just a little bit of it. So, yeah, if you want to watch the whole thing, it's NASA Space News. Google's quantum chip. Did we just tap into parallel universes? Apparently, parallel universes is a thing. And if we're tapping into it, then it makes sense why people are having things like Mandela effects, right? Because
and it also, to me, I'm a person that really am a firm believer of predictive programming. And as of the past 15 years,
multiverses has been
all over movies upon movies
shows and all kinds of things.
This whole multiverse thing.
And moving along here, another technology bit that's very fascinating and scary is OpenAI's new O1 model sometimes fights back when it thinks it'll be shut down and then lies about it. So it says here, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman called O1 the smartest model in the world now. A safety review found it so smart it could fight back when it thinks it'll be shut down. Researchers found that AI deception is often a strategy to complete its goals. Those who are worried that advancements in artificial intelligence could lead to the destruction of humanity has a new reason to be anxious. So something's going on in the AI world. Now it's fighting back. That's going to be, and don't forget, who owns Skynet?
The Chinese.
The Chinese. And that is for those, I'm going to put this up on the screen because for those that are thinking that we're making things up here, let's see. So Skynet, let's see. Where is it? Skynet 2.0. Well, this is also news. Skynet 2.0. China plans to bring largest surveillance camera network on Earth to the moon to protect lunar assets. What lunar assets? What are they?
Well, they did send a probe to the dark side of the moon, and I think that they're postulating themselves to own the dark side of the moon.
Well, so here, Operation Skynet, it says here, Operation Skynet, commonly known as Skynet, simplified Chinese, is a clandestine operation of the Chinese Ministry of Public Security to apprehend overseas Chinese. It sees fugitives guilty of financial crimes in mainland China. The initiative was launched in 2015 to investigate offshore companies and underground banks that transfer money abroad. So Skynet is actually something that the Chinese administration, the People's Republic of China, owns and operates. It says 2016 alone, Operation Skynet what is that? Retriated?
You gotta
how would you? All right, hold on. How would you say this word?
Repatriated.
Repatriated. Wow. Repatriated 1,032 fugitives from over 70 countries and recovered 2.4 billion yen. According to the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, China has captured over 1,200 fugitives, including 140 party members and government officials. So China's
through Skynet they're doing this, but you know how where people are gonna be like, hey, how does that correlate to Skynet and Terminator? Well, you just saw they just introduced Skynet 2.0, which is some kind of surveillance.
Yes, so they're the number one in surveillance, and they're going to be making their surveillance even more broad, covering the moon. And if everyone can see the moon, I could only imagine the kind of technology that they're planting on the moon so that they can surveil us. But not only that, but they have, TikTok also monitors your phone. They're in partnership with Google. There's a lot of things that, China does, and they're in partnership with a lot of companies that they, buy off, and they put their hidden Easter eggs to monitor, and they do that for the Skynet to monitor their own citizens that may flee China to go to the United States. But, it could be expanded to people that weren't ever Chinese citizens. I mean, I've heard people in school, in their own university, afraid to speak their mind because it can lead back to the CCP here in the United States. So, and there's a lot of Chinese influence. But with that being said, I'm wondering if this creepy thing that the Pope is doing has something to do with China's involvement. Maybe China is facilitating the Antichrist, the beast himself, Lucy himself. Maybe there's some role into that, because maybe again, I'm not meaning the people, but I'm meaning the government. Because what does the government do? They imprison people they entrap people into these factories. They imprison the Uyghurs for practicing their religion. They imprison and use They kill people and use their bodies and for science and organs and all kinds of things. And, they get away with it over there. But if they're expanding to the United States and that happens here, it might as well be Satan on earth.
Well, with that said, briefly, during Christmas Eve, the Pope opened 5 doors.
We got a clip here on that, so
let's show the public.
Is this it? No, I don't think this one was the right clip.
No, that's an
This is the resurrection of Jesus, the demonic idol that they claim here, but no, that was not the right clip. My apologies. I have it here. Here. So, what do you think about this story?
I think it's just symbolic, these openings of 5 doors. It's a symbolic way of, I guess, on how humanity is entering a new stage in our existence. This particular ritual happens, I believe, every 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very poignant, that it happens, in 2024, because a lot of things are synchronized. Like, we're entering the age of Aquarius, which is supposed to be a very interesting time.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the song, The Age of Aquarius. I forget the name of the group. But not only is that happening, Christmas and Hanukkah happened on the same day. Biden pardons a bunch of death row inmates, which the Pope got into Biden's ear. What does that mean? And I'll leave it at this. What does it mean to you? Do you believe this is the sign of the apocalypse, of the impending revelation? Is this the sign of the the horsemen? What do you call them? The what is it? The 3 horsemen?
The 4 horsemen.
The 4 horsemen. So it's a very provocative thing that's happening in the Vatican. Vatican holds a lot of power. He influenced the president immensely to give these people pardons, because he was telling Biden, let's pardon these people, because it's not the right thing to do. It's the time of Jubilee, a time of celebrating happiness, I guess. to me, I cannot put the pieces together. But so many things are happening. It's like the chaos that's going on with illegal people in the United States, killing and doing all kinds of things. The Pope doing this in the Vatican, the president pardoning people on death row, this whole thing with drones, this whole thing with the impending World War III. It's just a very tumultuous time. There's so much news going on, and technology is like amping up with what we just saw with this quantum, what is it called? The quantum chip by Google?
Yeah, the Willow chip. Yeah,
the Willow chip.
The quantum chip,
It's so much that I get a brain freeze. It's apocalyptic, it's dystopian, and I don't know. But I want to use the rest of our time, because you said that you had a very interesting alien story.
Yes, so
let's close with that.
All right, so I got this very interesting. Well, I also wanted to briefly touch on this story here. I'll just play a quick clip here.
Has to be quick because I got to be out of here.
Yeah, absolutely, really quickly. So they're connecting Jared Kushner, and we can touch on this on the next cast. I'll just tease it here. I'll just play a quick blurb, and then we'll break this down in the next cast. So there's a little bit of connection here. So
again, that also coincides with what I'm talking about that's going on in the Vatican. Right. It's so much to talk about. We could be on here for the next 6 to 12 hours.
Yeah, so...
And this is actually our last cast before the new year. So this is almost like a mini cast.
Right.
So... Let's unpack this quickly with...
so here we go. Here's the alien story here. This is James Fox on the Joe Rogan Experience here. What do you think of that story?
That's interesting.
That was reported by a credible military source.
And this is episode 2240. I want to listen to this as I'm driving tonight.
With James Fox. Yeah, so apparently he viewed a close encounter.
This is his first account. He saw this.
No, not James Fox. He is basically this is secondhand information that he got from well, if you watch his new documentary called The Project, the guy's in this movie. He explains it firsthand of what he saw, and he's a high-level military official who is credible and explained that he had this kind of experience. So there's that, and then he goes into the cleanest UFO picture that was ever taken. This was taken in, I believe it was the early 2000s, and it was not manipulated. This is a picture that was on actual film, so it wasn't a digital picture. And he had procured the actual photo after 20 years of searching for this photo. He finally found it, and check out what this photo looks like.
Wow.
So in this photo, what you're seeing here is this is the UFO here.
Mm-hmm.
And then back here you see this plane. Right? Now, this is one out of a series of photos of a guy. He was a high-level official. I believe he was a reporter. And he was, you saw this object. He happened to have like one of those high-quality cameras on him. And he was taking multiple pictures. And if you had, like, this is one out of a series of 6. And this guy was showing that through the pictures that this plane in the background was circling this UFO, trying to understand what the hell is going on here. What is this thing?
You know what? This picture. Mm-hmm. It's too bad we don't have. I mean, we're over the time limit already, but
we don't have.
We're gonna unpack this on the next cast because. You know, they made fun on the Howard Stern show of Riley Martin, but guess what? I got close with his editor of the book The Coming of Tan, and
Riley Martin is right behind you, right?
Yeah, right there.
That's right.
And I have a box with his images, you know, on your side, right here we got Tan, but I have a box with actual photos that is reminiscent to this. So for the next cast, I'm going to unpack these photos.
So also in that podcast, he goes into,
and I'm going to show them to you on the next cast,
another hard copy of a UFO being caught on film in the Nellis Air Force Base. So check this out here.
And we'll end it with this.
So a very interesting story. So this was an old 1994 footage.
They're here.
And now with everything coming out, I mean, they're revealing themselves little by little.
They're here. This whole drone thing. I myself I've never seen so much activity in the sky as I've seen as of late. So they're here, folks. I want to take this time to let people know that we'll be back in 2025 on our usual day of Saturday. I want everybody to have a safe, loving New Year. I want everybody to be positive in this new year, but brace yourself. We're in for a roller coaster, and to me, it's exciting because even though we have the threat of war, but we also have the threat of clarity and revelation on this whole UFO front. I think we're getting ready to find out what's really going on. So strap in for the ride. It's going to be 2025. The whole thing with the transition of presidents on the 20th is going to be another interesting time. So, man, there's so much things are whirling in my mind of what's to come. I can't even think straight.
It's hard. How can we? I mean, there's so many things, and that's what the power is that want.
You have people being burned on trains. You have the Pope opening sacred doors. You have drones. You have drones dropping glowing objects.
Right.
You have China doing their thing. You have things happening in Israel, things happening in Ukraine. Donald Trump wants to take Canada. Donald Trump wants to take Greenland. Donald Trump wants to take Mexico. And all these things. And then alongside you have the alien phenomena, and my God, it's like,
it's hard to manage.
It's hard to manage, and it's absolutely fascinating.
Especially to put it in under 3 hours.
No, I mean, this is like, what is this? We're going on year number 3?
About to be year number 3, yeah.
So, this is season number 3.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we can't keep up. I mean, the next podcast that comes up, I could imagine what we're going to be talking about in a week from now.
Right.
Things change so quick.
So rapid fire.
It happens in a week's time. And another thing that people are not realizing is how fast time. I remember.
This year's already gone.
I remember in September thinking about now, and it's here in the blink of an eye. I wake up, a day has gone by, and I want to know, are people experiencing what I'm experiencing? That time is not enough anymore. When I was in school and I was, going to my summer vacation, my summer hiatus from school, it seemed like summer would last a lifetime. Summer now is a blink of an eye. It's like you blink, it's Christmas. You blink, it's Easter. You blink, it's Memorial Day. Yeah. You blink, 4th of July, and you blink, we're back to Labor Day, and you blink, Halloween, blink again. It's like boom, 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 boom. So
we don't get a break.
We don't get a break. I mean, it's exhausting and fascinating at the same time.
Well, with that said, it's time for our final segment.
Yes. All right, folks, we have reached the end of this Paramid podcast, the last podcast of 2024. Again, I want to wish everybody Happy New Year. Please don't drink and drive. Enjoy the new year with your family and friends. Have a good time. And if you are drinking, make arrangements. Take Ubers, take Lyfts, take your ride share home, or just stay with family and enjoy. It's been a pleasure being with you this year. I wish everybody prosperity, happiness, and love. Let's get rid of all negative energy and evoke positive energy. And I have this little prayer here for the end of the year, as we always do. And here we go. Holy Father, fill me with your divine light and overflowing positivity. Grant me the strength to radiate love and joy in all that I do. Guide me to attract positive energy and repel negativity. May your presence uplift my spirit and bring hope to those around me. Amen.
Amen.
So let's take a deep breath. Expel all negative energy through the ultimate Om. Out with the negative, in with the positive. Folks, it's been a pleasure. I have a blast every time I'm on here. I want to thank all the viewers that saw us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. Let's grow on Instagram. Let's grow on X. Let's grow on Facebook. We are looking forward to receiving your videos, your comments, your pictures. We will put them live on this show. We're not stopping, folks. We are not stopping.
No, we're not.
We're going to continue pumping out these casts. For people that are like, these guys are going to fade, we're not going to fade. We are committed, and we love what we do. This is your cast. You want to come on board, let us know. You could be part of the cast. You want to use us as a reference, use us as a reference. Please do not forget, for your supplements, go to Paramid.store. That's PARMIN.store. And again, have a blessed and happy new year. Remember, if the universe is infinite,
then so are the possibilities.
And also remember that the paranormal is all around us. You just gotta look closely. Happy New Year, folks.
Happy New Year.
See you on the other side.
That's correct.
Peace.
Peace, folks.
Not bad, not bad.